You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio. Here at the BQN Network, we support and express solidarity for all of the writers and actors that have brought us the stories we passionately speak about. We continue to show love to all that are fighting the good fight for the WGA, SAG-AFTRA, and any upcoming strikes. We stand with you.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, Star Trek Universe podcast, here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Thad, and joining me is my co-host, Chrissie. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I'm gonna go out of universe for a moment here and say that it's Super Mario Wonder Day. So I'm just looking forward to playing some Super Mario Brothers after this lovely conversation that we're going to have about some lower decks.
Maybe you can play it in a cave and get the best of both worlds.
Good. That's a good idea. That's why the Switch is so portable. They should use that for a commercial. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I love caves, the flat floors.
The sentient moss.
Yeah.
It's great.
The natural staircases.
Yeah.
Also joining us today is BQN's own Amy Nelson. Amy, thank you for joining us. How are you today?
Well, I like caves too, because living in Nevada, where it's a dry heat, caves have the perfect level of moisture.
Yes.
Before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producers, Carl Wonders and Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly subscription of just $5, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind. Watch your Patreon messages for details. All right. As far as Star Trek news for the week, nothing big that I'm aware of.
No.
Well, the convention in San Francisco got announced.
I was just about to get to that. They had actually announced that a few months ago, I think. They just now finally posted some details on it. But yes, Creation Entertainment is doing an unlicensed Star Trek convention in March in San Francisco, complete with not very well done AI art for advertising. Like they could have just grabbed like a stock photo of the Golden Gate Bridge and that would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they sure got handed them some lovely comments. When there's so many artists out there in the community, it really is a shame to not, tap into that talent.
Well, they don't want to pay artists.
It wouldn't have cost that much. Come on.
Well, they didn't want to pay that either, but yes. Yeah. But yeah, my thing is, yes, obviously, yeah, you pay an artist, and that's better because the AI art tools, there's a whole ethical thing on that with the fact that they were trained on real art, and the people whose art it was used to train on don't get compensated for any of this. But even putting that aside for a second, it's terrible art.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We're a long way from Data combining various types of violinists into something that's actually art.
But yeah, I mean, the convention should be fun. Creation has done regional cons before. I think the last time they did one in San Francisco was in 2017. But I've been to the ones they've done in New Jersey every so often, and it's a lot of fun. It's don't go to it expecting it to be STLV. It is a much smaller event, but it should still be a lot of fun. So I look forward to hearing all about it. I will not be flying all the way across the country to San Francisco, especially not a week after the Star Trek cruise, but I'm sure the people who do go will have a great time.
Yeah, I'll have to see what my schedule looks like, but it might be doable, but it's so expensive to stay in San Francisco. Oh,
yeah. You don't know people that you could stay with in San Francisco?
Yeah, but the fun is staying at the convention.
Sure, yeah. All right. Also, we did have New York Comic Con this past weekend. Oh yeah. No big news out of that. We did hear for sure that now that the writer's strike is over, although the actor strike is not, and we should still support the actors and hope that they get a good deal and get compensated for their work. But the writer's strike is over, so they're able to do some production work, and they have opened the writer's room for the Starfleet Academy show, so that's exciting.
Yes, very.
I think that was pretty much the only Star Trek news out of Comic-Con. The Kid Cudi collection launched. I thought the song was fine.
Oh, that's what that discussion was. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's just not for me. It's not bad. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I thought the song sounded fine. I'm not sure that it's very Star Trek-y, especially if it's an official collaboration with Star Trek. I don't know, say some things about Star Trek in the song, maybe. But I thought it sounded fine.
Just do a cover of Moon Over Rigel 7. It's fine.
I thought it sounded fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with it, but it did not scream Star Trek to me. The clothing. Some of it looks cool. I'm not a huge fan of the leather jacket, but I can see how it would appeal to a lot of people. I'm sure the number of people it will appeal to gets a lot smaller once they see the $300 price tag.
Yep.
I actually, until I saw the price, was thinking, oh, maybe I'll buy that Deep Space Nine sweatshirt, but it's $150. So, nope.
Nope.
Yeah, somehow these things from the collaboration are more expensive than the already ridiculously overpriced official Star Trek merchandise we already have.
Yeah, it makes that popcorn bowl look
Yeah, I can just go ahead and buy that Murph popcorn bowl now. It's, a bargain. Or those $60 athletic shorts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. One of these days they're going to clearance those out.
I'm waiting. I don't know. They didn't clearance out the Starship is Landing stuff. They just sort of quietly took it down.
Yes, but that was stupid. There's a difference between clearancing something out because you have too much, because you put too high of a price on it in the first place, and getting rid of merchandise that didn't make sense.
I would have bought a $5 Starship is Landing t-shirt.
For $5, yeah.
But they never did it. They just, I think they were all print on demand is probably why.
And that was smart of them.
But I don't think those athletic shorts, they can't be, because it's like the fabric itself is the pattern. So they actually have those in stock. So yes, at some point, maybe they'll go on sale. And also sometimes people give me gift cards for StarTrek.com because I somehow give people the impression that I like Star Trek.
I can't imagine why.
Like last year, I got a $50 gift card for StarTrek.com for my birthday, and I used it to buy a cardboard Boimler.
Nice.
That is an excellent use of that.
So I think he's got, and he stands on the landing to my stairs, and he has the Geordie Bear from Mission Chicago on his shoulder.
Oh, perfect.
I love it.
So yeah, I will absolutely buy ridiculous Star Trek merchandise, and I will spend a lot of money on ridiculous Star Trek merchandise, but I don't think anything from that Kid Cudi collection is for me. Speaking of spending ridiculous money on Star Trek things, another thing that happened this weekend was the auction of former Star Trek. Actually, I don't 100% recall. I believe model maker. Yeah, he made a bunch of the models. Greg Jean, who worked on Star Trek for decades. You hadn't heard about this auction at all, Chrissy?
No, but I have been so swamped with other things that
No, it was a huge auction of Star Trek models, props, uniforms, etc.
Awesome.
And most of the things went for many thousands of dollars. Some exciting things. There was a phaser from the original series, Type 2 phaser. There's only like 3 or 4 of those in existence anymore.
Wow.
Shatner's toupee from TOS was one of the things.
What?
Yeah.
I am kind of astonished that he let that happen.
My guess is he probably never had it. Like, it probably came from somewhere. Like,
well, yeah, but I could see him pitching a fit and being like, "That's mine," you know.
Yeah, well, see, with that, like, I really want whoever bought that to take it and get it signed at a convention.
Yes.
Well, I mean, this could sort of be like a Sheldon from Big Bang when he Penny gives the napkin of Leonard Nimoy and he's like, I have Leonard Nimoy's DNA, like a toupee.
Yeah, there's got to be Shatner sweat inside that.
Right. And skin follicles and stuff. And someone, I've got William Shatner's DNA.
Clone of William Shatner that recognizes
we're gonna have
the
Shatner
values
clones
of Trek.
going around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were some really cool things. There were some really cool things in the auction. I encourage you to just look it up. Because there's some really cool stuff that did sell for a lot of money. Nothing that I could have afforded, but like models and uniforms and props, and it was all to benefit his family, and I'm sure they are going to be living quite comfortably off of the very high proceeds from that auction. So that's great.
And all of these items were authenticated and
okay. Because he worked on Star Trek for decades, so it was his own personal collection.
So do you think, like, if you worked on Star Trek and wanted to have an auction, would you create little certificate of authentication? Like, how would you? Is there a process? Is there something legal that does that?
My thought, honestly, in general, certificates of authentication are one of the biggest scams.
BS. Yeah.
Because all that certificate means is that someone signed a piece of paper saying the thing you have is real.
Right. So it's only good as strong as that person's word is that signed the paper.
In this case, the provenance of the items, I think is I'm sure the auction house does provide certificates of authentication because it was from a legitimate auction house, and because of the provenance of these things, you can trace the chain of custody directly back to Star Trek from the one guy who got them. Yeah, because he designed a bunch of the ship models and various things throughout on Star Trek and other sci-fi shows. Like, there were some Battlestar Galactica stuff. There was some Star Wars stuff. Also, like, what I find very, very amusing on the auction was it was all these various serious sci-fi show and movie props, and then also he had the Salem the cat puppet from Sabrina the Teenage Witch as well.
Wow,
I like that.
I know, right? Like,
why not?
If I had thousands of dollars kicking around that I didn't have anything else for, I probably would have bought that. That would be a cool thing to put on a shelf. But yeah, no, I will say I have a couple very small screen use Star Trek props. Very small, because I do not have the kind of money that friends of the show like Alex Perry or Jeremiah have.
Right.
But but I have two very small. I have an isolinear chip from Voyager and a slip of latinum from DS9, and neither of which have certificates of authenticity. But I know by who they were purchased from that they had originally come through. Like, a certificate is great if you can trust its source to begin with, but a lot of those mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I always wonder when I'm going through the vendor room and looking, I'm like, I just don't know. But like what you were saying, Thad, like if I bought it from, like, Jeremiah got that carpet from David Blas.
Yeah.
Like, if I know I bought it from that person who worked on Star Trek, I'm going to believe that over any piece of paper from just a vendor table. I'm going to believe this paper. I don't think so.
Yeah. There were two people selling carpet at STLV, because Dave Blass was, and also Liz Kloskowski was as well. And yeah, I did not buy the carpet, but I did see the carpet, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you buy carpet, Amy?
Funny.
No, I did not buy carpet. And the Enterprise D is my
I know, that's why I'm like, I would not have been surprised if you had. It wasn't that expensive. I thought about it. I was tempted.
All of this reminds me of all of the religious relics that run around and it's like, here's how many pieces of the true cross.
Enough pieces of the true
around,
cross to do all 3 crosses on the hill,
them, yeah.
or more. It's like, aren't there like Jesus's toenail clippings too somewhere?
Ew.
Ew.
I'm sure there are, but ew. No. Well, yeah. There's everything.
Yeah.
Everything. But right, to the point there though, with your isolinear chip and your piece of latinum, and all the rest of those types of things, it's valuable to you because of what it is, not because of because of where it came from, but that's part of what it is. So it's like, that's what matters.
Yeah. Also, I'm highly unlikely to ever want to sell them. So
yeah. I feel like those are part of your grave goods.
Anyway, let's talk about this week's episode of Star Trek. Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 4, Episode 8, Caves. Amy, what did you think this week?
Well, first, I'm just sad that we're on the downside, closing out the season, 2 more episodes. And I'm like, no, this episode, Caves, was so much fun. And just to hear their stories, I mean, that's what Star Trek is a mode of storytelling. And so we're getting this, and I love that it's showing the progression of their relationship, because now they're lieutenant junior grade and they're not doing everything together. And so we get that tension of, okay, we've done different missions. Are we going to get a little jealous that you're making other friends? Like, it's a natural progression in a group of friends. I loved this episode.
Yeah. So I agree with all of that. Chrissy, what did you think this week?
Yeah, I thought it was great too. Star Trek has finally done the thing that they should have done for Shades of Grey, which was we have a clip show of things we've never seen, which I have been advocating for forever in reference to Golden Girls, and listeners are sick of me saying that, but I will again. Clip shows of things we've never seen is one of my favorite TV. It's not a trope because it's not done enough. Mechanisms for storytelling, let's say that. So yeah, I think that's great. And it was a good episode. And I like that they have friends outside of the group. That's a very important thing. And it's one of those things, like, I feel as though if I know this is like the story, but if Mariner had more friends outside of the group, she wouldn't have been so devastated when Boimler left,
Yeah.
And he might have felt more comfortable talking to her about it, knowing that she had a support system. Well, he was gone, but yeah, I thought it was good, cute stories. Reminded me of Ghostbusters 2 with the slime and the mold or moss, whatever it was.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I love the idea of a clip show with brand new clips. That's great. I enjoy that we saw some characters we had seen before, like conspiracy theorist Levy, and
Yes.
we did not, as you say, do the Klingon Civil War. Which I love that part in particular, that he has a conspiracy about who started the Klingon Civil War when there really was a conspiracy that started the Klingon Civil War, but it was the Romulans.
Is it different? There was a conspiracy. You have the wrong one.
Yeah, and I love when Boimler's like, Wolf 359 was a tragedy, like, because there's so many conspiracy theories about that too. Just total cracked me up.
Yeah, and he said, and that that actually dates back to season 1 when we first meet him, and he says
Yes.
that Wolf 359 was an inside job.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't real. The Dominion War never happened.
Exactly. I'd like to think that's a nice little middle finger to 9/11 truthers.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. And I honestly, my favorite bit about this was that it was the same cave set in all of the flashbacks. And that when they beam down to the cave, Mariner's like, I feel like I've been in this cave 100 times. Just an amazing reference to that same exact cave set that they used over and over again in TNG, DS9, and Voyager. Oh, and Enterprise too.
Yeah. And probably half a dozen other shows that we're not even aware of.
Oh, yeah. With those little
Planet Hell.
steps
You
in the
gotta use
corner. And
Yep. Sometimes it's not a cave. Sometimes there's lights above it. It's on the outside. Like when you're putting together pieces of a puzzle from the providers who are going to tell you you're all related.
Yep. Or we also saw it from the outside in Loud as a Whisper when the interpreters were vaporized.
I'm sure that was that set. No reason it wouldn't be.
Anyway, yes, we saw that set many times, and I loved it. I also liked that we saw the PIMS beacons, as they're called, the flashlight that they put on their arm that they use in Voyager. Which my favorite thing about that is that it was the little flashlight attached to the arm from Voyager because technology was advancing so rapidly in the 90s that TNG, they were holding incandescent light things in their hands because that was as small as they could do handheld lights at the time. But by Voyager, they had the tiny little things they could put on their arm on their wrists, and it was only 10 years later.
Yeah.
Not even 10 years later.
Right.
I love a palm beacon, though. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. The palm beacons are great. That, honestly, if I could find a screen-used prop of a palm beacon, I would absolutely buy one.
Yeah.
Or, if someone wants to sell replicas of them, I would also buy one. Just putting that out there. Anyone who makes prop replicas who's listening to us, I would absolutely buy a palm beacon for cosplay purposes.
Yes. And how funny, like, this is one example that I love Lower Decks does. Like, who hasn't done the flashlight underneath your face to create the shadows? Like what Boimler did with Levy, and his face is all, shadowy because he's conspiracy. I thought that was so funny. I'm like, oh, I've done that.
And that I do really love that Levy was talking about the Vendorians, and one was like, no, it's not the Vendorians, they're in the Beta Quadrant, and then it turns out to actually be the Vendorians. That was amazing. Who listeners may know, the Vendorians did previously appear in Star Trek the Animated Series in like the 4 billionth reference to the animated series in Lower Decks.
Yep. Rightly so.
So what I really liked about this sort of part was when the Vendorians were like, oh, you know about us? Because Boimler was just like going off crazy, and they're like, we're not like this. And then, of course, Levy, who is conspiracy theory, is like, oh, I go on message boards and we make up. I mean, we share information. Totally reminded me of like Men in Black, like when they go to, the tabloids to see all the alien news. It reminded me of that. And I really thought the Vendorian, like, I saw them the first time. I'm like, oh, that's cute. But then when they did it at the end, I was really surprised by that. I was not expecting to see that little twist in that cave.
The final twist was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice that the Vendorians were voiced by Don Lewis and now I'm
right here. Yes,
Jerry O'Connell.
And Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't notice that.
I picked up on Don Lewis. I did not pick up on Jerry O'Connell, but Trek Core obviously told me.
Oh yeah, Memory Alpha told me. So yeah. And
both good sources.
And Wells. How do you say your name? Noelle
Wells.
Yeah, she was a Vendorian observer number
Oh, okay.
one. Yeah. But Don Lewis was the Vendorian leader.
Yeah, and I could definitely like immediately recognize her voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was very well done. The final twist at the end was great. Especially that they never revealed to. That was only a reveal to us, not to the actual lower deckers. They just thought it was a sentient slime creature.
Yeah. Now you have on the notes here, he just wants everything to be special. A generous way to describe conspiracy theorists. Okay, I was a little confused. I'm like, how do you, because I really want to know, because there are some conspiracy theorist people in my family. And I'm like, how
I'm sorry.
can we see the positive, a generous way? Like, is there a positive way to see conspiracy theorists?
Wow. That got deeper than I was expecting this episode to go.
One of the things about conspiracy theories is the idea that I know or they know,
special knowledge sort of thing.
Yeah, it's that thing of I have this information and nobody else does, or I'm a member of this tiny little group of people who has this information and nobody else does. And so that just hit me as Boimler saying, okay, he just wants everything to be special, meaning he just wants things to have meaning beyond what they actually do. And I find that a lot. I mean, that's something that's not, I did not come up with this about conspiracy theorists by any means. You can see discussion about that all over the place, but it is that idea. And here I'll say, ahead of saying this, you feel free to send your hate messages to me on Twitter, but it's kind of the same thing as what you see with they will. It's kind of the same thing as you see with religion. You have special knowledge that other people don't have, and it's going to benefit you in a special way.
It is a standard thing that, yes, you will see in most intellectual discussion of conspiracy theories. That, yeah, it's the reason they become so popular is that it lets people feel special about knowing this thing that others don't. And then they can actually get that sense of community among other conspiracy theories who also have that same belief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it is a generous way to describe conspiracy theorists. I take that with a tone of sarcasm, but and there's some conspiracy theories that are less dangerous than others.
Sure. One of my favorite conspiracy theories that has no real payoff, like it doesn't affect much of anything, and I'm sure you've heard of this one, and I'm sure it bothers you, Chrissy, is the theory that there's like 100 or so years in the Dark Ages that didn't actually happen.
Yes, I've heard that one. Yes. If I remember correctly, it's around Charlemagne or something. Charlemagne didn't exist and it was all made up later.
Yes.
It's like, why?
Like,
why?
What is the end game for this?
Yeah.
Well, and that's a place where it's the special knowledge. Oh, I know about this and nobody else does. And that's the only payoff.
Yeah, and you can immediately, and the argument is that because we don't have an unbroken record from a lot of European civilizations at that time. Except we do. And even if we didn't, you know who does have an unbroken record from that same time period? The Chinese.
China. India, some of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Persia. Yeah. No, that's a good one. I also appreciated, was it 2 years ago? There was that the Roman Empire didn't actually exist thing that was going around, which made me really mad until I found out that it wasn't supposed to be real and people were taking it as real.
I missed this one. How? What? So all those, all literally like half of our civilization is evidence that the Roman Empire exists.
Wait, was that the same time where the meme was going around or something like, ask your significant other how many times they think about the Roman Empire?
Oh no, that was just a month or so ago.
This like a month. Yeah, no, this was 2-3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Men think about the Roman Empire every day. I'm like,
so my thought, yeah, I dismissed that one immediately because I'm like, okay, so the person I know personally who knows the most about the Roman Empire is a woman. So
I didn't read it as exclusive of, but yeah.
I'm like, I immediately thought of you, Chrissy. I'm like, but like the person I know who knows more about the Roman Empire than anyone else I know.
I don't know. See, that was another. I don't know what the point of that was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like, men think about more important things than women do. Was that supposed to be the point? I don't even know.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't necessarily considered more important, but it was more like apparent, like to a lot of women who never really think about their own empire, that like they ask their husbands, turns out, yes, their husbands do think about it a lot. And I think to some degree that there is, yes, that's sort of the stereotypical sort of thing. And then there were a couple people that took it in a bit far and was saying, well, anyone who thinks about the Roman Empire that much is actually a fascist. And it's like, well, okay, now you're reading way too much into this.
I can't verbally express the look I have on my face.
Yeah, I can think about the Roman Empire, but think about it for totally different things. Like I could think about it for its numeral system and how stupid and terrible and stifling it is. And why it never survived because it doesn't do math.
I did. I wrote on here too on the notes. Your knowledge is artfully mixed with hyperbole and fiction.
That was great. I need to make that into a reaction GIF.
Yeah, because that's just so perfect. It's yeah.
This is my brother. I told you.
Oh, okay.
My brother, just and it's artfully done. It starts with the truth and then it just goes off into this fiction.
Oh yeah, it always sounds convincing until it doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we all have that family member that will, talk about how, insert thing here is really the deep state doing this thing to control all of us.
Yep. Meanwhile, the things that are actually going around to control all of us, like preventing us from having universal health care, single payer, but whatever.
Like I would argue, like, have you seen how dysfunctional our government is? They can't possibly be that organized to do that whole thing and keep it a secret.
Yes. Okay, can I ask, who was the character that impregnated Rutherford with the touch? Do you know what that character's name is and who that voice is? I feel like she was.
Don't.
I was calling her
and what's her species?
Having nothing to do with Trek. I was saying, oh, that's the one that looks like the woman from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what my first thought as well. She looked like Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nebula, thank you. Yes.
I don't know if that's a species we've seen before.
I don't think so.
And you're impregnating through contact?
Well, that happened on Enterprise.
Well, it happened at Trip.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Because I was like, where did that come from? Okay.
But that was not the same species. They didn't look like that.
No. They look mostly human, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was a direct reference to the Enterprise episode Unexpected, where Trip Tucker got pregnant by sticking his hand in a bowl with an alien.
Right. Okay, but there was like some kind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I didn't put that together, so thank you.
It's all right. That was a wonderful little storyline, though. And to Anna with the baby, like, no, not dealing with that. And then coming to appreciate the baby, but yeah. Are you looking up the character?
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to.
I know. I didn't know her name, and so I couldn't see.
Yeah, she's not listed as far as I can see.
I know, and I went to IMDb and it was just the normal.
Well, there you go. It was just generic.
I know, but I feel like I don't know. And she had a lot of parts. Like, why wouldn't it be listed?
Wait, was it Thusa?
That sounds right.
Because that Memory Alpha says it was Don Lewis, but Thusa doesn't have an article, so I can't like see for sure if that's the right person.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Thusa.
Yes, it's Thusa. Yes, so it was Don Lewis.
Oh, okay. All right, then that's why I recognized the voice.
But I would say the fact that Thusa does not have an article on Memory Alpha would indicate that it is not a species we've seen before.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my thought anyway. I would have remembered the species that reproduces by cloning themselves after they touch someone else. Like, I would remember that. Like, that would strike a chord if that had happened in Star Trek before.
Yeah. Particularly that quickly.
So yeah, I think that was a species we had not seen before. But yeah, that was Don Lewis, and that was a more disguised Don Lewis voice than the Vendorians, because I didn't pick up on that one.
I didn't pick up on any of those. I do not have a good ear for that.
Well, and this story is your trope of, oh, I didn't know this was a danger to you. I'm just picking these flowers. Oh, you're killing my young. What are you doing? Like, so that's always the fun that, you see in Star Trek. And so I liked the story because of that.
Yeah, and that's that is obviously a direct reference to one of the most famous Star Trek Cave episodes, The Devil in the Dark.
With the Horda.
Yes. And a good story because it makes people think.
I loved the translator.
What are we doing in our day-to-day?
I love that Rutherford figured out how to translate the
growls.
It was like, wait, did you just talk to me?
See, we all need better communication. That's what it's all about.
Yes. Then we can communicate to the people with the conspiracy theories that they are incorrect, but they'll feel comfortable with it because they can communicate. Anyway, the aging cave was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was and the leg. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. That was so funny.
Well, we can't go back. We'll just have her grow you a new one. I'm like, they're probably better anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that was so funny. Because they're like, well, it'll heal when he gets older, right? Oh, I don't know.
And it does, but it's healing wrong.
Incorrectly. Yep.
Falls off.
Yeah, and the whole time there's been the other cave that's just turns you into a kid.
Yeah.
Hey,
just
I think a nice touch on that one though would have been if because it was the character with the eye patch, if when he was the kid, like his eye was like his other eye was there.
You need the patch. Oh yeah.
But he had a patch the whole time. But maybe
it was fixed underneath.
That's possible.
So when Mariner got that streak of gray in her hair, totally from Deanna Troi, Man of the People. Remember when she aged and they gave her this just skunk white streak?
Bride of Frankenstein.
I try to forget Man of the People, but yes, I do remember that.
I saw that and I'm like, Troi.
Honestly, the only good thing of Man of the People was Deanna Troi's outfit when she was at that stage in the aging. That was fantastic. You should cosplay that, STLV, Amy.
I know, and I do now have like gray streaks in my hair.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go. STLV is the right place to cosplay that. It's warm enough. It's not like doing that in Chicago.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did the Battle of Britain Miles O'Brien in Chicago and not STLV.
Right.
Although, if you spend the whole time in the main theater at STLV, you can bundle up just fine because the air conditioning is set to something slightly above Arctic.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I always carry a blanket at STLV.
I love it. Love it.
Sorry, I got lost we've bounced all over the place. And
so, with Mariner, with the Delta shift, that was funny because you do get these little clicks, I guess, and so.
Oh yeah, and that's been a recurring thing through the whole show. They're always like Delta shift.
Didn't they have issues with beta shift earlier, or is it still Delta?
I think it's always been Delta.
Yeah.
Oh, their beta shift, right? It's always been Delta. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so a fun callback to that.
I'm not sure if they're alpha or beta. I can't remember.
I think,
but they've only ever complained about Delta.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was Delta that they were competing with for the room last season.
Yeah.
Beta would make sense because you'd think that would be the opposite of Delta on the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like, except for well, maybe Tendi, I feel like second shift is the right one for Mariner. Sleep in a bit, work later.
Yeah. I like the thing where they're talking about Delta shift. They're like, they never get to be they never get promotions or anything because the senior officers never see them.
Yeah.
Which
like
I like the joke, but in reality that wouldn't be how it would work because there would also be the Delta shift department heads that would, do the same reports. Like I would certainly see like the higher promotions, like to like lieutenant commander or something. But I feel like the lower things from ensign to lieutenant junior grade, that would they're the Delta shift department heads would still be writing reviews and whatnot, and that would be sort of a automatic process.
Yeah, but I think they have a point. Like when they were listing how many times they've seen the captain or say like ransom, like you're not going to see them. I totally get that. And me right now, it's sort of college football, and I'm a huge college football fan. And as they were talking about this, sorry, going off on sports ball, but I felt same way with Pac-12 conference. We are on the West Coast. All the analytics and all the, important people are on the East Coast. And so when the West Coast are having games at like 7 p.m., that's 10 p.m., doesn't even finish till like midnight, 1 a.m. So we get less coverage because of our location in the country. So I totally related, like, you're not getting the exposure. You're not getting recognized because enough people aren't seeing you. So I related big time.
Yeah. You just prompted me to look up how the Wyoming Cowboys are doing, and they're 5-2. So that's pretty good.
Oh, wow. Very good.
That's the most I've paid attention. I think the MSU U of M game is this weekend, which means that everything is going to be crazy. Every year that's the big in-state rivalry. One, right? Yeah, it's that and Michigan versus Ohio State, but I don't know when. Anyway,
today Ohio State is playing Penn State.
Yeah, that's the big rivalry here.
Yeah.
There we go. So onto the Delta shift thing. This might just be my I don't know, social justice brain or something, but there was something to the idea that the people that are doing the menial labor overnight are not appreciated.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they intended that, but it did occur to me.
I mean, and really what Mariner was saying, like, oh, I thought you were mad at us because we break things and then you have to fix it.
Yeah, that's kind of terrible.
That could be said for any shift, though. I mean, Delta shift could break things, and then Alpha comes in and, we've got to fix. I mean, and you're going to get that in shift rotation. So that really is true for any shift.
Oh, yeah. And anyone who has worked a shift job will tell you that.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And anyone who has worked a shift job will tell you that they were the only shift that actually did anything right, and all the other shifts were terrible.
Yes. The joys of shift work and the like. Retail. But they kind of work through their issues. Yeah, that's a word. Coming up on Christmas, the joys of retail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, working Black Friday and Christmas are the best times in retail, obviously.
That's a whole other... Yeah.
Yeah. So with Mariner and Delta shift, it literally is through time that they work through their issues, right? They're trapped. They're
nice.
Oh,
I like
nice.
that.
Right? I didn't even. Oh, good catch.
But I mean, and
I love
that's
it.
sort of the theme of this week's episode is that if you're given enough time, you're going to have to communicate and work through your issues and come to a compromise. And I was totally thinking, we need to do this with all of the planet's leaders, stick them in a room, and it may take a year. But I think we can survive without our world leaders. I think we're good. And get them to come
Might
to
do
a
better.
compromise. That's all it is. Like, if you see each other, you break down, you see each other as, okay, I'm a human being, you're a human being, break it down, find the commonalities, and then find a solution. We're not finding any solutions in this world. And that's sort of like COVID, like we were shut down. You know, we had to come up with some compromise. Okay, I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to not touch my face. Like we found a way to get through it because we had the time. Just saying. I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, I mean, you're not wrong, but it's you have to start from a place. You can't start from a place where you have one group of people believe that another group of people isn't people or doesn't deserve to exist and there's so much of that right now. And there's always so much of that, but it's more public right now. Yeah.
That's why we need to lock them. They need the time to see each other. We need, like that slime. They were encompassed in the cave and they weren't going to let go until they figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pessimist in me, the historian in me, whatever you want to call it. I don't see that happening. I guess I go like, what's the most drastic example of that you could come up with? And I'm thinking, okay, either a slave and a slaveholder, or like maybe a Nazi and a Jew. And no matter how much time they spend in a room together, I don't know that they're ever going to come to that. But we could try.
So I feel like it's a trope in so many different things. Like it appears in TV shows, in books, movies, etc. But I do wonder how well it would actually work out in real life.
Yeah. So Tendi was so cute because she kept trying to share her story, but it didn't meet the criteria of being a cave story. So who's like tried to interject a little story, even though, I mean, it was tangentially. I mean, we do that here all the time on ID.
I also just love that it was so Tendi that the story she was trying to interject was the wholesome story about how much they all like each other. Like, that was just Tendi to the core.
Yeah. And I love the pickup from events that we'd already seen. So it was like, okay, well, what happened after that? That's fantastic. That's exactly the kind of storytelling I want. And the being stuck in an elevator and having to pee in a corner is something I've always been afraid of happening.
Hey, pee in a corner came from Orville. I'm just saying, now we have a pee corner in Star Trek canon.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been on other stuff too, but I'll take that.
Yes.
Yeah, but it wasn't. And I did love that she says, well, I didn't love peeing in the corner. Also, I'm wondering, where's the corner? It's a round turbulent.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, well, just you pick part of the arc and you call that the corner.
Yeah.
I had to admit, when they zoomed out, like up above them, and you see them lying in the huddle there, I looked to see if there was a pee corner, and I didn't see one.
But you didn't have the whole floor there.
That's true. It could have been in the top or bottom.
Yeah.
It could have evaporated.
That's true.
That's true, too. What they were in there for 5 hours, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And with each little screenshot after they're like, 2 hours, 3 hours, they were doing something fun. They weren't ever, I thought, okay, after the 4-hour one, they're going to be bickering. Nope, they never were. They were building their friendship right there.
Yep.
In the turbo lift.
Yep. And that was awesome.
And
I also appreciate.
Oh, go ahead. No,
go ahead, because it was different topic. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going different topic too. So you start.
Okay. I appreciate how again we have boilers. I appreciate how again we have Boimler's pants being part of the solution to the problem.
And it's like, I suppose
again, call back to the first episode.
Could have just asked for my jacket.
I know.
Like after he immediately takes his pants off, then he thinks it could have been my jacket.
Yes, and Mariner's like, look how fast he did. He didn't even question.
Yeah,
like we're roommates.
He's like, oh, it's okay, we're roommates. I'm like, okay, so that would explain why it's okay to not have your pants on, but or why you're comfortable with that.
I'm getting a real Bert and Ernie vibe from them.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Except I always thought of Bert and Ernie as a couple, and I don't see them being a couple. But other than that, I agree.
Okay. Well, I never saw Bert and Ernie as a couple, but
I mean, I didn't as a little kid, but as an adult,
right.
Yeah, I see Bert and Ernie as definitely a couple.
Yeah. I'm saying
I
it
said
as
always.
Like,
I should.
Yeah. Kid Amy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like at that age when I was watching it, you know, coming from the sheltered childhood that I was growing up in, I don't think I even knew that two men could be a couple. So
exactly, me neither.
Yeah.
The first time that like concept entered my brain was when I watched the DS9 episode Rejoined. Actually,
good. Star Trek for the win there.
Yes.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought hard about it until I think it was the cover of the New Yorker after the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage across the board, and I can't think of what the name of the case was for the life of me. But
you mean you hadn't thought about Bert and Ernie until then?
Yeah, in that context. With I think it was a New Yorker or one of those, and it was Bert and Ernie sitting on the couch watching that on the TV, and one of them has an arm around the other, and it's really it encapsulates it beautifully. And
I do like that. Yeah.
Tangent number 15. Anyway,
I think in the midst of all these tangents, we have covered pretty much all of the episodes.
We have, yes.
This will be fun to edit.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not 3 hours, so that helps.
Anyway, yeah, I think we have at this point covered most everything in the episode in and around all the other things we've discussed today.
All of which were equally important.
Oh, yeah. Were there anything else that either of you wanted to talk about that we've not covered?
So when the Vendorians revealed themselves and like, oh, now you're friends and I want to hear this story. And so they're like, oh, we've got lots of stories before they come and rescue us. So let us tell you. And they started, telling stories. The one where they met themselves in a cave and we thought it was their future. That didn't happen, right?
Not on screen, certainly.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. I do want to see that. That looks like a very fun episode. Yes. I hope they make that in season 5.
Well, we certainly could, because since they met themselves and it was from the future, we could see them from the future going back.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I want to see that. And ideally it would be in the form of another flashback of something we've never seen.
One other thing that I noticed that I don't think matters at all, I think was possibly just an Easter egg or possibly just by an incidental thing, was when Boimler and Levy are in that cave and they find the vehicle that they can use to escape that Levy destroys. That vehicle looks a lot like the ship that's been mysteriously destroying other ships, I thought.
Ooh.
Like the same sort of design.
I thought what it brought to mind was the Land Rover thing from Nemesis. But
I mean, that too.
I
it sort of looked like
that.
a Tuvix of the two.
Oh, that'd be interesting if it comes back to that.
I don't think it will. I think that I just like noticed that. I'm like, huh.
What if this whole season's been the Vendorians doing that?
Oh, interesting. Because the reason that was in my brain is because I was off last week's episode. I rewatched last week's right before watching this week's today to prepare for the episode. So I watched them back to back. So I think it was in my brain already, the pattern recognition there. So yeah, I don't think that will actually affect anything, but yes, it'd be interesting if it turns out that it is the Vendorians.
That would be perfect Lower Decks. So just like, here's this random thing that you really thought had nothing to do with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Probably not find out next week, but hopefully find out in 2 weeks.
See, we're running out of episodes.
Yep, and we don't know. We have no hard information on when we'll get more Star Trek. We know we will be getting more Star Trek next year, but we don't know when.
Yeah.
Right. I know. We still need to see Prodigy and Discovery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I missed entirely getting to talk about that announcement. I am sure you did talk about that last week.
Yes, we did. We did at length.
Anyway, next week we will find out more about Lower Decks of some kind. We don't even know the episode title for next week yet.
No.
But it'll be good, I hope. I think so far the first 8 have been decent, so I assume episode 9 won't drop the ball. All right. Well, next week we'll talk about whatever happens in Lower Decks. In the meantime, our listeners can certainly hear Amy in many places. So, Amy, thank you so much for joining us. Where can our listeners hear you online? And do you have any current or upcoming work you want to mention?
Just the continuation of, trying to make BQN a good network, but you can listen to me here.
I think you've succeeded there.
It is.
And I am co-hosting Union Federation, which also covers the new Star Trek, and on All Good Things, where we sort of cover all of Star Trek and talk about different tropes in Star Trek through the different series, and we compare and talk about them. It's pretty fun. So check us out over there if you haven't. I am on that Twitter X place at Miss Amy Nelson, but my favorite place right there, BQN Collective, our listeners' Facebook group.
All right. Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not trying to convince them of the latest conspiracy theory?
Oh, there was a time. But that's okay when you're a teenager. It's different because your brain has not fully formed yet, but okay. In addition to here in Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on the BQN. That's that twice weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. Actually, that developed out of me debunking ancient aliens way back in the day. So there you go. I'm also happy to chat about our shows in the BQN Collective on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky at the Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessSlivia, where you can see my opinions on Star Trek history and leftist politics. Thad, where can people find you when you're not advocating for everyone to take a few moments to get to know each other and not kill each other in the interim?
Best place to find me is on Twitter still. I'm there till the bitter end. I'm at Tyrannicus. That's TYRANICUS. You can also find me with the same handle on Mastodon and Blue Sky. You can hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl, called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C like the British do it, where we talk about various TV shows and movies that we watch. And as a brief aside, I enjoyed the history with the Szilagys that Jason did. That was the deep dive on the history of Palestine. Yeah,
I'm glad. Yeah, he's going to be doing a talk at Delta in next week on that kind of developed out of that. But
nice.
If people want some background on the history of why things are happening the way they are in the Middle East, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. But let me highly recommend that episode of History with Szilagys. And he sat down and did that off the top of his head.
I could tell, because it definitely felt like a stream of consciousness sort of thing. Just he knew what he was talking about.
Oh yeah, I love that about him. Don't forget all of the other great shows here on the BQN. Here is Amy live to tape to tell you all about them.
What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Mark, Christos, and Kelvin. Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey, a self-proclaimed gamer who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. If you're lost in the Delta Quadrant, check out The Captain's Couch, a Star Trek Voyager podcast hosted by Jeremiah sitting on Janeway's Ready Room couch. Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out, hosted by Mark, Matt, and Laz. Beam Aboard the Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Amy, Joe, Rhea, and Kevin. History with the Szilagys, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey. Union Federation, covering all things Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Star Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Spill the Tea with What's the Tea, Bev, a Trek current events and fan interview show hosted by Christos. And for our Patreon members, we have The Hive Mind, BQN's monthly roundtable discussion with hosts and listeners. It's Green, a cornucopia of topics hosted by Mark, and Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek, hosted by Amy. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
We should have made Amy read it again.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you'd like to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts and our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in the Facebook group, the BQN Collective. And when you next hear from us, we'll be talking about episode 9 of this season of Lower Decks, for which we don't have a title yet. Until then, we bid you peace and long life.
We'll just find out the title like half an hour from now or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I like the thing that goes around every once in a while. It's like, sign this petition if you think schools should stop teaching Arabic numerals to our children.
Gods.
I have never seen that.
You've never seen that?
No. And I've been in education. No,
Well,
no one.
It's
has
not
said
real. It's a real thing that goes around, but it's not like an actual real. It's someone doing this as a sarcasm because people don't realize, because it's to play on people who don't know what Arabic numerals means.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's the same thing you see with teaching that humans are Homo sapiens.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was like, and someone like a poll taken said that it was like 67% of people polled said that schools should not teach Arabic numerals in school, and like my response to that is, well, how could LXVII people be wrong?
Exactly. There you go. I think the first time I ever heard that one was probably in like 2002.
Oh yeah, it's been going around forever.
And it directly related, and I'd be willing to bet that started with The Onion.
Oh, probably.
I have no evidence of that. I haven't looked, but I would be willing to bet that
sounds
was
like The Onion.
That does sound like an onion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, The Onion has been extremely on point the last week or so, and that's all I'm going to talk about current events on this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun tangent. Never do that on ID.
It all relates. We were talking about
that's how we roll here at Infinite Diversity.
Levy, you know.
Nothing but fun tangents.
Yeah.
Yeah, we blame Levy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
there we go.
I can always bring it back. Always.
Like the episode that we tried to get you on earlier this season was the one with the Betazoids. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay.
Like, we got to have Amy on for this.
That was such a fun episode.
It was.
3 versions of Luoxana. I was all down for it.